What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you one of the most common mistakes that people make in bowling, and that is muscling your arm swing. We're going to talk about why people do it and how you can fix it in your game so you can go out there and you can bowl better. All right, so often we see people go out to the lanes, whether they're recreational bowlers or sometimes even high-level competitive bowlers in leagues and tournaments, and they try to use all the muscle that they've got to try to overpower the lanes. They see professional bowlers go out there with all of the revolutions in the world, hooking the entire lane, having all of that power, and they try to replicate it. But it's important to know that often in bowling, less is more. You can actually create more power, more revolutions, more speed, and overall more hook and pin action by actually trying to do less. When we try to overpower the ball, use all of our muscle, get a super high backswing, it often leads to less efficiency, less power, and certainly less consistency. So before we go out onto the lane and show you a couple of drills, one thing that I want to discuss is what does a great arm swing look like? And as we all know, bowling is an art form. There is no perfect arm swing, there is no perfect footwork, but there certainly are some characteristics that carry across every great professional's game that you can apply to your game, and you can make sure that when you're looking at your own game that you cross off this checklist of things that you need in your arm swing to make sure you can bowl your best. And the one thing that all great bowlers do is they have a great, loose, relaxed arm swing. You don't see a lot of bowlers have a super out of control high backswing that they muscle up to the top. You don't see a lot of people flexing their forearm or their biceps or having an extreme bend in their elbow, because that gets in the way of having a nice, free, loose, relaxed arm swing. And the key to having a free, loose, relaxed arm swing, it all starts in the push away. You want to have a nice rounded push away that can create some momentum for that ball to drop into your swing, and let gravity do the work of bringing that ball and giving you some height in that swing, as opposed to pulling it up with your shoulder and with your arm. Because once you start implementing even just a little bit of muscle into that backswing, it creates inconsistency, because now all of a sudden, depending on how much muscle you use, that ball's going to start bumping out of alignment, whether it goes outside of your head or you're trying to pull it up too far inside of your head. That ball's going to start getting out of alignment with your back of your head, which is really what you want, and that's going to try to manipulate your shots in ways that you don't want. All of a sudden, you're going to start having these inconsistencies. So really, letting that push away be free and loose is going to help you maintain that consistent backswing that you need. A lot of bowlers don't realize how high their backswings already are. And so when bowlers try to go and they try to generate power, you can tell someone, all right, try to keep your backswing all the way at your hip, try to keep it nice and low, and then they'll go throw a shot, and their backswing's still going to be at the height of their head. People don't truly realize, and so what that means is that you don't have to try nearly as hard as you think to try to generate some height in that backswing and get yourself some power. That's going to happen naturally. The weight of the ball is going to help create that height in that backswing that most powerful bowlers have. So again, less is more. Relax that grip, have a nice rounded push away, and let the weight of the ball take your hand and take your arm back and generate the height in the backswing that you want, so you can come down and generate power at the bottom of the release. And so the last part of the arm swing ultimately is the release. A lot of people think of it separately, but if you don't have a great arm swing, it's going to be really hard to have a great release. If you have too much muscle in your arm throughout the swing, you're not going to be able to get the most out of your release. You're not going to be able to get all that power, because if you think about it, all of that power comes from your ability to keep your fingers underneath the ball and then break your wrist at the release, rotate your hand around the ball. And if you have all that muscle, all of that tightness in your arm, in your hands, in your wrist, it's going to be really hard to be able to quickly execute the breaking of that wrist so you can rotate your hand around the ball and get all of the revs and get all the powers that you want. So again, a huge key here, having that loose swing is going to allow you to generate all that power at the release, because you're going to have the ability to break your wrist and rotate your hand around it. All right, so there are two simple, easy drills that you can use to make sure that you're implementing this nice, free, loose swing into your game. And it's gonna start at the foul line. These aren't even gonna be drills that you need a full approach for. We're gonna try to isolate the swing. So the first drill is just a release drill. So what you're going to do is you're gonna go up to the foul line, you're gonna get into a nice balanced position at the foul line, and you're gonna take some nice, small baby swings. And so essentially what we're trying to focus on here is that great hand position that we just talked about and integrating that with that loose swing. And now the second drill is taking that to the next level and doing a one-step drill. What this is going to do, this is going to implement a little bit more movement and motion into your overall shot, but still keeping it simple and allowing you to just focus on the arm swing as a whole. So you're gonna get into a position about one step away from the foul line. That's gonna give you enough room for that slide that you utilize at the end of your approach. And then what you're going to do is you're simply going to have a nice rounded push away, and you're going to slide into that shot. And as soon as your backswing gets to the height of the backswing, again, we don't want to muscle it. We want to let the ball do the work and use gravity to create the height in our swing, and you don't want to muscle it back there above your shoulders, above your head. Just nice, easy, loose, relaxed swing. And as that ball reaches the top of the swing and starts coming down, that's when you're going to want to slide with it to be in good timing. You're going to be able to know what it feels like to have that truly sweet, loose arm swing, so you can go out there on the lanes in competition, you can execute great shots, have great consistency, and bowl high scores. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Please let us know in the comments what other videos you would like to see on the channel about the arm swing, what you struggle with the arm swing, and maybe what's helped you in the past achieve that perfect shot. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.